everybody. So it's part 2 of lockdown day 12, and I thought we can talk about stress because it's also a very important part of our health and how we can hold a strong immune system in our body so that it can be strong. So we've looked at foods, now we're going to look at the emotional side of ourselves and how that will affect our bodies if left untreated. So I've made a chart, and I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going to go through everything, and you can always put it on pause and write things down. So as I said, if you leave stress and anxiety unattended, it leads to more severe things like depression and other physical symptoms. For example, as I just mentioned, that it weakens the immune system. It affects your digestive system, because if, for example, something's happening in your life and you don't feel comfortable with that and it doesn't sit comfortably inside of you, it usually affects the digestive system. You can't digest it. So the terms that I'm using, it's called energy anatomy, and I hope that you'll get my point as I go along and explain. For example, I've put down here weight issues, because when we have a lot of stress, we're either going to eat a lot or we're not going to eat at all. So it's about, now we're just talking about the issues that cause stress. When we become stressed, we lose our power. We're not in control of our own power, and so we are fragile, and that can weaken the bones. Muscle pain. When we have a lot of emotions and they're trapped inside of our body and we're not dealing with the stress that's in our body or the hurt and the pain, it can cause an armour that forms around the body, as we know it in the world of massage, and it can cause muscle pain. Through massage, for example, we break through that body, that armour, and that's why a lot of people release through tears, and release many blockages in the body, because we break through the emotional body, okay? And then they can be relieved of these kind of symptoms. The other thing, emotions, stress and things like this can cause our heart problems, blood pressure. If you've got so much going on and you're continuously with this kind of stress, and so it's raising your blood pressure. Or if you're very depressed and you're very low, and you could get low blood pressure, low in iron, low in things like this. So the other thing with the heart problems, with emotions, is if you have had a lot of pain in your life or been hurt by others and it's been too difficult to deal with it and you've kept it in, that's an energy. Just like everything is an energy, and it will sit usually on the heart area. So for me, if someone comes to me and they have such problems, I would like to try and help them with their emotional side, not just the physical body. I have to look at the emotional side and try and see where it came from, where the source of all of this is from. I have a book that is out on Amazon and on Kindle, and on chapter 3 I devote the whole chapter to inner work and how you can look at these problems, how you can deal with them, and I have exercises in them that show you how you can get to the root cause of the problem and find your patterns. Because what happens when we become so familiar with that kind of stress, we just keep going on, and we keep attracting things that would trigger us into the same patterns, into the same violi, as we say in Greek, like a violin, like you just keep, it's like the same cassette is playing over and over, but each time the lesson becomes worse. So we need to break through all of those things, find an issue, find how we can resolve those emotional things so that it can make our hearts lighter. So maybe we need to forgive. Which we'll look into these things in a minute. Stress can also cause a lot of skin problems, irritation, psoriasis, eczema, all kinds of things like this. It can cause headaches because you block up in this area. And the list is endless. There's so many physical problems emotions cause. So now that we know what it causes, if we say, oh, I'm stressed, it doesn't matter. Oh, I was born stressed, I hear a lot in my work. No one is born stressed. No baby is born stressed unless we have a mother who was extremely stressed through pregnancy, and the baby can be familiar with the feeling of stress. That's in my book, all of this kind of stuff, So these are what the stress can cause us on a long term. It can make you very sick. So it is a serious thing. If you feel stressed, you need to work it. So here I put a very good question. You can write that down, and when you are alone, answer it. Unless it comes to you straight away now, pause and write it down. What does it cost you to stay in this state? What is it costing you to be in a state of stress? How is that serving you? Is it causing greatness to your life, or is it making your life more difficult? So we have to look into these issues of emotions, of how we are right now, how we're dealing with everything, and we need to say, ask yourself, do you want to stay like this? And of course, I've put here, tick which one you want to be, yes or no. No, I do not want to be in this state. Is anyone going to write, yes, I want to stay in this state? Then it's self-destructiveness. You cannot go through life without having any kind of stress, but there's a healthy stress that we need to help us, push us into reaching our goals and doing things that we need to a certain extent. And then there's the stress that just takes us over and takes over our thoughts and our day and doesn't leave us any energy to do much else. So that's the kind of stress I'm talking about. So no, what does it cost me? It's costing me my health. It's costing me communicating properly with other people. It's costing me finding the solution because I'm too wrapped up in the state of stress. So you don't want to be in this state, so you make that decision inside of you, so your subconscious mind can hear, and you say, I do not want to be in this state anymore. So we need to address what it is that's stressing you out. So again, on a piece of paper, write down, what is the stress issues that you're going through? Write down 3, maybe, I don't know, maybe somebody hurt you. Maybe you have financial problems. Maybe there's something you want and you can't get it. It hasn't come and it's stressing you out. Can be so many different things, right? I've just put some examples there. So by identifying what the stress is, already the part in you that is feeling stress will start to relax. Because you are giving it attention. Just like a child, if a child needs attention and you don't, it's going to scream out. It's the same with the stress. It means that somewhere inside of you needs to be addressed. It means that something inside of you is screaming out, saying, please look inside, which is what we're doing in a work, and address the things that I am afraid of usually, or that I need to work on, or where I'm weak. So you address the issues, and then that part of you relaxes, that was being ignored, right? Write down things like what scares you, what scary thoughts are you having? What thoughts are you having that scare you? Like, maybe you have a bill and you get so scared and you're like, oh my God, how am I going to pay this, right? And you get all this stress or whatever the situation may be. Write that down. Write down what scary thoughts you're having, because when you write it down and you see it, or even us just talking about it, you understand that even thinking about those things, it takes your power away and it's causing a stress. So you are not in control at all of yourself in that moment. You are feeling that you're not capable of doing that thing or in control of being able to change and make things better. Or if someone's hurt you, how can you feel okay with this horrible, uncomfortable feeling inside of you? You know, these kind of things. So whatever the stress may be, your home, whatever it may be, write down what those things are and address them. And then we have to find a solution. Why are they happening? Let's say somebody hurt you. You need to just see, why is that person hurting you? Are you allowing that to happen? Then you need to look inside yourself and ask yourself why you're allowing that to happen. And then you need to backdate, which is the things in the book. You need to do some exercise and see, has that been happening often in your life? Is it something that you have regularly happening in your life with different people? So then it means it's your patterns and you need to break free from those things. You need to see, you need to put some compassion into that person, let's say, who's hurt you. For example, people who hurt people are usually people who are hurt. So we don't get to choose that, and we can't change that person, but we can change how we deal with that and our attitudes towards that. And it sometimes, and usually it helps when you try to understand that someone who's causing wounds to others are usually someone who's very wounded. For me, I would pray for that person, and I would, if it's difficult for me to pray for that person, I ask God to help me pray for that person, and then eventually, through time, you become okay with that, you know, and you start to forgive and you let go, and then that's inner work. But if you leave it inside and you're in constant pain about that person, every time you talk about that issue, you become angry or upset or you have tears, then you haven't done any inner work on it. And even though it might be fresh, that's fine. You have to allow yourself to feel the feelings and the emotions. You give yourself permission to, but also you have to look in and see, why is that happening? Why have I attracted that in my life? Why am I going through this experience? So, and so you find compassion for the other person, or for whatever reason, that, like with your finances. What I have here, let's go down to the fourth one, because that will help with this finding the solution. Because you need to have some tools which will help you deal with all of these things. And this is why we have this D.I.Y. So if you're feeling stressed about something, what are you going to do about that? Yes, we're going to change our attitudes, we're going to find understanding, but is there something else that I can do that's going to help me and help those things? And here we have the D.I.Y. healing tools. So I have lots of videos, if you go back and scroll down, showing lots of different methods on how to release pain out of the body through breathing, through different exercises. I have it in my book as well, and I'll send a link. I'll have it on my description box below to the book if you want to go further into something like that. And there's lots of other books that do this kind of work. So to find a solution, you need, let's say, a medicine bag, and in that medicine bag, you're going to have your own personal medicine. You're going to put in your bag, and I think it's good to actually get a bag and say this is your your medicine bag, and you're going to put all the things in there that heal you. Because, when you're really stressed, you can't think what you need at that moment. But if you have your little medicine bag there and you look into it, then you see, oh wow, I can do this. And so what would be in your bag? You can use things like, essential oils, right? You can have different oils that help with stress, like rose or neroli, lavender, chamomile, rosehip. All of these oils, they help. You can have herbs in your bag, even a list of herbs that help you, like drinking tea from them, or you can have an aroma bath. Okay, it's always 9 drops in an aroma bath. I have a video on it. And you can pick different essential oils and have an aroma bath, and that will help to release stress. You can do so many things in there. You can also put in there attitudes. Finding a different attitude, because maybe you can't remember in that moment what it is that you need to do or what you want to do. So if you write all this down that we're going through and put it in there, and you take it out and you read it, it will go, okay, I'm going to do this. So you need to have some healing tools, and you can have alternative therapies, you can have massage, reflexology, homeopathy. There's so many different kinds of alternative therapies and things that you can do on your own. Again, I have lots of videos that show how you can self-massage and give yourself a reflexology. Have a look, and there's so many things you can do for that. You can even do a course on an alternative therapy that will help you learn and look into yourself at the same time, and give you a tool that you can use on family, on friends, on your children. And with this, you will also need to have like a ritual. Just like you have a ritual, you get up in the morning and you brush your teeth, you need to have something that's going to sustain you through the day. For me, it would be I wake up, I do my prayers, and I would do some of the D.I.Y tools, and to try and be consistent with that, so you can do your breathing exercises, which if you go through the list, as I said, of videos I've done, you'll find the oomph exercise. You can do that, you can do a prayer, you can do your exercise, and you can have different things. You're juicing now that you're learning to juice, all these things that will de-stress you. So, we'll move on. This is just something I'm working on. Talk about it now. So what I have here is a chart that shows how you can have good health. And I've done it out in sections. It's only because of the writing that some are big. It doesn't mean that those are more important than the others. They're all the same. So what I've got is the physical, the work, the emotions, hope, purpose, goals, spirituality, environment, and your food. These are all the things that you need to help you have a good, healthy body. So when I mean physical, you need to have some physical exercise. When you have work, you need to be in work that you want to be in, that makes you happy. Because the work takes a massive part of our life, and if you're not happy in your work, you need to sort that out. If you've got stress in the work, you need to sort that out. If you're underpaid, you need to sort that out. You need to look and see inside of yourselves, why is this what I'm attracting? And that is the inner work, and you'll see that when you're quiet, you'll get the answers. And so if you have your little journal and a pen, you can quickly write these things down, and then you work towards them. If you keep yourselves in a place where you're not happy and you think it's okay, what that does, that energy inside of you kind of like eats on you. It's not good energy, so it's not something you want to keep in you. We're not here just to have a holiday, in life. We're here to learn about things, and the things where we have weaknesses, we need to help ourselves to strengthen them, and where we have pain, we need to help ourselves to forgive and to heal those wounds, not to shove them under the carpet. I've got emotions here because it's something so important, as what we're doing now is to look into how we're feeling, to recognize the emotion, to allow the emotion to come out. If you have cry in you and you're trying to hold back, that's really not good, because that energy will explode inside your body. And if you keep doing that, you know, it comes into your heart, and we get that explosion through time. Do you understand? That's energy of emotions. So, for you to be healthy, you have to look into your emotions, talk about it, find ways that helps you to work on those things and be comfortable with talking about them and releasing them. Find your D.I.Ys that help you, find therapists that if you need to help you with that, but don't keep them inside. You need to work on that to have good health. To have good health, you need to have the physical exercise, you need to have your work well, and you need your emotions. Here I've put hope, purpose and goals, because you need to have something more than just the normal routine, okay, and fixing and wounds and all this. You need to give yourself something to work towards, not just a holiday, but something with more purpose, even if your situation is very difficult. So, you need to spend time to see that, and what helps with knowing your purpose, of course, is the spiritual path. And it is a big part of your life. For me, it's extremely important for my life. So you need to spend time in practicing whatever it is that you're going to do. Whatever, whether it's a religion or whatever for you is spiritual, it could be a walk in nature. Whatever it is, you need to engage in it. It's that feeling of something that's beyond yourself. It's that feeling that it goes deep within inside of you. It's in your soul. It's something, you know what I'm talking about. Everyone feels that. And so when we don't give that attention, there's a hunger and there's a longing. And sometimes we don't know what it is. And sometimes what that thing is to follow and spend more time on the spiritual path, whether it be through prayer, through your meditation practices, whatever it is that you do. Then we have the environment. So if your environment is not good, not just talking about your home environment and people who are toxic, but like electricity, internet, these 3Gs, 4Gs, 5Gs, all of these things, they have geopathic stress and they affect us badly. Can cause a lot of ill health. So it's no good to sleep with the internet on, with a lot of electricity around you. There's different remedies that you can do to help you with all those things. I won't go into that now, but you need to have a look at the environment, see what's going on around you. Is everything okay with electricity? I have a story in my book about that. Now, and the food, which we've been talking about, and it's like, are the foods you're eating or anything else that you're consuming, is it good for you? Is it too much? Is it too little? Is it none at all? Is there a balance? What if you're spending more time with your physical and your work and your goals, let's say, but you ignore all the other things? Your body cannot be balanced. It needs all those things to work effectively. Hippocrates also said that you need good food, you need good friends, you need to go out, you need to have everything to have that balance going. So this balance, which is your spiritual practice, it becomes a way of life. Not something you just pick up like a book. It becomes a way of life, and a way of life that at the beginning it becomes like you have to maybe discipline yourself to sit and do something about that, but in the end it becomes a part of your everyday life. So you take it into your everyday life, you know? And there's another little chart which is what gives you an alive feeling. When you're in fear, do you feel alive? Does it not make you feel like a dark cloud above you and your whole body structure is not like you would feel if you're confident and feel good. So when you feel fear, try to think of the situation as a challenge, which is exciting. Okay, it's an exciting feeling. So turn your fear into challenge, into excitement. And fear stands for false evidence appears real. So it's false usually. We make it to be more than what it is, and we put so much fear into it. So acknowledge that you feel fear, allow yourself to experience that. Okay, I'm feeling fear. And then say, how can I change my attitude towards this? Well, maybe that thing that's making you feel fearful is challenging you to come out of your comfort zone and do something new. Maybe it's asking you to change your ways. It can be many things, you know. So if you try and deal with thinking of fear as a challenge and it's exciting, it will help to remove that. When you're feeling stagnant, try and see it that maybe you're stagnant now, okay, but later on you will be moving. You will not always be stagnant. In that moment of your being stagnant, of not moving, there's a lot of learning to do. When I was researching on veganism that 1 year before I became a vegan, I really wasn't doing a lot of my goals except watching vegan stuff, you know, and I thought I was really stagnant. But look at it now. I'm here today and I'm making videos on it. So maybe you're stagnant for a reason. Maybe you need to be still and look at things. Now through lockdown, we're all kind of stagnant, but there's things you can do. I mean, I'm doing this video channel. My God, you know, I used to be so shy to do things like this, but you see, it's going to make you do other things. So try and remember that if you're stagnant now, it's not a negative thing. Neither is the fear. It's just an emotion, and it's your body telling you what you need to do. And it's usually change is going to come when there's been stagnant, especially for a long time, if you allow it to. Then we have the feeling of lack of confidence. Okay, that again, it dulls you. It doesn't give you any alive feeling. But when you have faith, it sparks you up. And it can be faith in yourself, faith in God. I don't know what you believe in. But to know that the lack of confidence more than likely is going to make you do this kind of inner work. It's going to make you go inside, and it's going to make you discover your spiritual self. So perhaps there's a reason for you to have that lack of confidence. Maybe it was knocked out of you, but you still have to work it. It's on your plate. So it means it's happened to you in order for you to be able to overcome it. And usually when you overcome it, then you attract people who are also going through it and you can help them. You see? With money issues, okay, really, it's your attitude and your gratitude towards things. If you are consistently in gratitude for what you have, for what you already have, you will have your abundance. If you are not grateful for what you have, it gets taken away. If you change your attitude, like maybe you really are in a very difficult position, but if you just have that little hope, I believe something good is going to happen. I don't know how, but something good is going to happen. Something's going to turn around. Something will. And it could be an idea that you might have that might change you on what to do in your life. And I have about 3 videos on it, in Greek and in English. So do have a listen to those, and it will explain a lot more about it. So, and then I've put pain, because pain, it doesn't make you feel alive. Okay, for some people, they cause pain to feel alive. That's a different subject altogether. However, it's still a painful experience that they're having. And whoever's going through pain, whether it's emotional, physical, and I've put here joy in the growth, because through pain we grow. I know it's not nice that we grow through pain, but we do, and we have more understanding about life and more understanding and compassion about people when we go through pain, whether it's physical or emotional, you know. Some people might be in physical pain and the people around them don't even realise or understand what that person is going through. and the patience and what they endure to not complain about it, you know, or if people are complaining about it and they keep complaining about it, maybe you need to really listen and say, okay, how can you help that person with that pain, rather than saying, oh, here she goes again, or whatever, do you know? So remember that through pain we grow spiritually, and joy will come. It will come. With anger issues, again, it's another feeling. Yes, it makes you feel alive in another way, but it's in a negative way, and it keeps you again in this grey, dark bubble. It doesn't give you good feelings afterwards. You usually regret it when you've been angry, you feel bad. So they're not alive feelings, but love is. So when you learn to work with a loving energy through your inner work that you do, so all the things that you made you angry, you forgive those people, or you forgive the incidences, or you come to an understanding, or you let go of whatever it is that's making you angry. Or maybe none of those things are making you angry, and it's yourself that's actually the cause of it, because maybe you need to make a change and you haven't done it. You know, it can be so many things. Whatever it is, let the anger form into love, and forgive where you need to forgive, and be gentle on yourself where you need to be gentle, and you will see through time that everything will be sorted out. And then I've had to put in this with the foods. I've put what foods are alive and what foods are dead. So I'm not going to say it, you know the answer. So basically, this is what I have about stress and anxiety, is to look within, is to do different things that will help you overcome these anxieties and these stress. Don't not look into it, look into them, get some help where you need help, address them, find the tools that help you to overcome them and to battle and release the stress. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye-bye.